RBB Morning Show, the coach, mentor, marketing, and social media strategist you need each and every morning. RBB, a live morning talk show that gives you the ability to get the coach you need, strategist you wish you could afford, social media manager and strategist, marketing strategist, project manager, certified OBM, VA, business startup strategist, profit strategist, web strategist, email funnel strategist, sales page strategist, PR strategist, time management, mindset, and overall business development strategist. We answer it all. With over 25 years of business experience, both in corporate and small business worlds, we really can answer it all. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is having an amazing day today. It is Tuesday morning. I can't believe yesterday just flew by for me.
It did. And, I think this is why I think it flew by. Is we sat down, we did our work, and then we went and lived our lives.
Yes, very much so.
And like that, because the day flew for me. Hi, Silas. The day flew for me too.
Yeah, it was just, it's crazy how fast it went.
But it went in such a good way, though. It was like such a nice, like easy, like flowing day. So it was nice.
It was a good day. I am trying to bring everything up so I can see it all, of course.
Because we had a definitive end.
We did.
What I think it was. Is we have. I think we've succeeded in finding work hours that work for us.
Yes.
Especially as a team, because that's something that's really important. Is we need to make sure that we're there together.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we found a really good groove.
I think we have to. Okay. I have invited everybody, move things on pages. We are all good. Good morning, Sharon. How are you this morning? Poor Sharon has had a sick little girl for the last couple days, so she hasn't been joining us.
Oh, I hope her little one is feeling better.
She went back to school today, so she's
good.
That's always, as a parent, having a sick child is like one of the worst things in the world, as far as I'm concerned, because you want to help and you can't. Yes, we did get started a little early because I wanted to share it out because we're getting everybody used to being over here on the RBB page now that we're separating things out properly.
Yes.
So today we are talking about Instagram, and there's a couple really important things about Instagram to keep you on track with it. People forget. Now, remember, this is counterintuitive for what DG Marketing does. So don't follow DG Marketing. Well, please follow DG Marketing, but don't follow the template that DG Marketing uses over on Instagram, because I do use it very differently than those of you that are solo business owners use it. So this is for you solo business owners. If you're building an agency, let's talk a different time because this is not for you. But if you are a solo business owner on Instagram is the perfect. Good morning, Sandra. Sandra doesn't usually get to join us.
Good morning, Sandra.
And Latoya is joining us. Good morning, ladies. Instagram shows the personality of your business. It can be used so differently. You don't have to be formal with Instagram. Please don't be formal with Instagram.
You need to humanize yourself and your business. You are a human being on the other side of the screen. It's okay to be one.
Yes, follow, but don't do as I say, not as I do. How's that? Definitely make sure that you're humanizing who you are as a business. I always talk about the 5 W's and the H. Instagram is the place to be doing those who, what, where, when, why, and how. So important. You could really show who you are as a business owner. You could show your puppies in your office. You could show and I have done this.
Your sticky note collection.
Your sticky note collection, which this is about a quarter of my sticky note collection. I have been using them a lot lately. You can show your family and how much time you enjoy with your family. I know Sandra does this on her Instagram. She will show. This weekend, she was showing off, I think, puppies, grandbaby puppies. I don't know. I don't remember what the puppies are from. But it's important to really show who you are as a morning.
as a business owner, and you could show your morning routine, what you're doing today, a picture of you working at your desk. I mean, show who you are, show the behind the scenes. It really will make a difference in connecting. And grandpuppies, they were grandpuppies. It makes a difference in connecting truly with it and really connecting with your audience, and getting them to connect to you. Once they get to know you, they can get to know who you are as a business owner, because you as a person, everything about you as a person forms who you are as a business owner. So make sure that you're really getting that personality in there. So some really awesome things to do on Instagram is, I gave you just some little tidbits, but something I found for one of my clients that she's done a ton of. She is a travel agent, and she shares goofy memes, and because she has a funny bone a mile long. And she will, on her personal page, she shares all kinds of fun, just funny stuff, things that strike her funny about her, what she does, things that strike her funny about her children, things that strike her funny about just life in general, being a business owner.
That's what I used to do. Like, there is a meme account on Instagram that I used to follow when I was heavily into my social media. And it was My Business Coach Says. And I would cry laughing at that meme account.
I have one that's a sarcasm account that I follow on my personal Instagram.
Yeah.
If I log into that, I am cracking up for hours.
I'm like, just, you would know that I was just trolling that account because like I had like so many repost, like screenshots of it going on my story because I would crying laughing. It was great. And
it really shows a bit more about what you do when you do that. Like, I'm scrolling through, I'm just scrolling through my own feed right now. And my sister, who does own a business, yesterday showed a picture of my niece, and you can't see too much for too long, crawling across the floor. And she's been screaming when she crawled, but today or yesterday, she decided to go after the phone. She wanted that phone bad. So she went after the phone, and she is giggling like you wouldn't believe. And just things like that. And showing that you're planning your week, showing that you're, My Business Coach Says. I love some of those My Business Coach Says things.
They're really funny, but you guys, like, when you guys go look at it, you will see why Gina finds it freaking hysterical. So.
But you can share your favorite quotes. You could share, there's so much that you could do with your account. Yes, it ties into your business, and you do want to share a little bit about your business here and there and what you're doing and things like that. But you go ahead and show that personality. Now, your Facebook business page is a complete different matter. And tomorrow we're going to be discussing Facebook business pages, but really share some fun stuff on your Instagram. So I have about a questions a mile long on Instagram. So this one comes from, okay, I can't even read the name. I'm sorry. Comes from D. I'm terrible with names. So I am dyslexic. So reading somebody's name is very difficult, just so y'all know. So if I can't read your name, it's not that I can't read it. Sorry. So this comes from D. D is asking, my Instagram, I have lost a lot of followers lately. What's up with that? I'm doing the same thing I've always done. Well, I will tell you there are two problems right there. One, Instagram has changed some things. So if you have any followers that just haven't used their accounts, and I don't know what the term on that is for Instagram, haven't used their accounts in a while, they're considered ghost accounts. Instagram has gone through, and you've done nothing wrong by having ghost accounts. Just people start using their accounts. It happens. Instagram has gone through and called those and gotten rid of a lot of those. And they'll do that about once a quarter. They'll go through and you'll see a massive decrease. And I told y'all yesterday about an Instagram influencer that had 200 and something thousand followers and now has less than 1,000 because she had a lot of bots following her, which means she bought followers. and a lot of ghost accounts, and they cleaned them out. So keep in mind that Instagram does do that about once a quarter. They'll go through and do a massive clean out of anything that's not active or is illegal followers, people that create accounts just to follow accounts that aren't active, that don't do anything, So there is a bit of the buying followers issue that IG goes through and cleans out. So don't feel terrible if you're losing like 20, 30 accounts every few months. That's going to happen. That's just going to happen. That has nothing to do with you. It is what it is.
And also because of that, like Danielle and I were talking about yesterday, your follower account on Instagram isn't as important as your engagement ratio, your engagement rate. Like, what's the appropriate term?
Engagement rate.
Okay, yeah. So it's not as important as your engagement rate. So don't be so focused on your follower count going up as you are your engagement rate going up. Like that's Absolutely. The most important. Yeah. So because like Danielle is saying, like your follower account can ebb and flow because of ghost accounts and Instagram, cracking down. They get pissy one day and just go after people like ghost accounts and things like that. And your follower account is going to dip. But if your engagement rate is constantly going up or staying pretty steady, you're doing really good.
So buying followers is not a good idea at all, LaToya. Buying a follower equals one. There is no way that I have seen. What tools do we use? We use She Social. I have a hard time saying that together. She has a calculator as part of your membership. Yep. We also use Social Pilot that's what we use for analytics for our clients and stuff. And you can also get that there. So we do pay for those tools. I'm sure there's probably a free one out there. I've never looked for a free one.
Courtney's is amazing. She also has a training on how you can manually calculate it yourself, but having a little calculator in there is pretty good.
Yeah. I like just
very helpful.
I just put everything in and it does it for me. Buffer does a little bit of analytics, but theirs isn't. I don't like theirs quite as much. It doesn't seem to be quite as extensive. It does work though, so it's not quite as accurate. So Sharon and I were talking about this a couple of weeks ago here on the show. She goes, why don't the Instagram insights and whatever tool you're using and whatever this tool is, nothing agrees with each other? That is absolutely true. I have yet to find something that agrees with anything else. Don't ask me why. I think part of it is there's always a delay on those types of analytics and insights for whatever you're using. So they're never taking them from like the same point. And by the time one changes, the other hasn't caught up and all kinds of stuff. So Buffer's analytics are okay. They're not super extensive. That's part of why we like Social Pilot. Social Pilot is very, very in-depth. It gives a lot of different little pieces. But pick a tool, use it. Not many of them do calculate your engagement rate, though. I know Tailwind does. Tailwind is really good about that. That's something because that's so important. But again, it doesn't agree with Instagram's. So, take all of that for what it's worth.
Not everything talks to each other appropriately. It's very aggravating. I think whenever I'm doing a build or doing something in the background for DG marketing or BBG, I spend majority of my time figuring out how to make the various softwares that we're having to use talk to each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you're looking at a client's account that happens to be in a different time zone, that changes that. There's so many variables that I just.
Yep. So just get comfortable with the uncertainty, basically.
Very much so. And the one thing that I will say is I will have a certain time of day that I pull reports for a client or for ourselves or whatever, so that I'm always pulling it about the same time. Well, the time zone for your insights on Instagram are whatever time zone you are in. So Sharon, you're on the East Coast. So when you're pulling them, however, if you're logged into a client that happens to be on the West Coast, then you're pulling in their time zone. So whatever time zone the account itself is in is what time zone you're pulling. So I just create a baseline when we start with a client by pulling at a certain time. And I always pull all the reports for everybody, all of my clients and everything. That's one of those things that is a time block. I do everybody's reports at the same time so that we're on that schedule always. So we're always pulling at the same time, which I guess that helps to always, in my mind, it helps. How's that? I wish that they were super accurate. They aren't. Fact of life.
It is what it is, but nothing, again, like in data analysis, nothing like, look, you guys, nothing is going to ever be 100%. So 80% is 100%. So, just keep it that way. Yes, Sharon, if your client is in the Pacific time zone, then it's shown in the Pacific time zone.
Yeah, it has to, you are based on the client account, that time zone for the client account, not where you're logged in at. Because I have a client that's in New Zealand, whatever time zone that is, I don't even remember. And when we pull stuff from her, she's 18 hours ahead of us. So I'm pulling things. If I pull,
you're pulling from the future.
I'm pulling for the future. So mind you, anytime I do anything for that client, I am so confused. So confused of what day I'm in all the time. I actually have now created myself an Excel spreadsheet with her time zone and the breakdown of because I just can't keep track. I used to have a client in the Philippines and I had to do the same thing for them. So, I mean, it's so hard to wrap your head around that. Sometimes creating yourself that spreadsheet, Sharon, will really help.
So World Time Buddy is a really good time zone converter and comparison thing, and it's a free tool. So if you guys were not aware of it, World Time Buddy is really awesome.
It is very awesome, but I just create myself the whole entire spreadsheet, so I don't have to keep going and bringing it up. So how do you manage to engage with other accounts on behalf of your client when their time zone is in the middle of the night? As long as it's all about that consistency in no matter how it's being done. So I never handle complete engagement on my own for a client, period, ever. I expect my client to also engage on their accounts. They should at the very least be scrolling through their Instagram and liking. So that is it kind of balances out the time zone issue. I know that's actually a question I get a lot from a lot of IG users is, what happens when my client is in a different time zone? Do I have to operate in their time zone? No, just be consistent with whatever you're doing. Okay, so I have a question from Michelle. So Michelle asks, when using my Instagram, I'm constantly having trouble getting things in my stories. Sometimes I have a story that's a series of pieces together. How do I do it? So when you're on your little story icon, which is your profile picture, there's a little plus sign in that. So you post a story, go back to your icon and hit that little plus sign again. Have fun with that if you have long nails. And
side of your finger, ladies, side of your finger.
You can keep hitting that over and over and over again and do many all at the same time. That's not a problem. If you want them to go to highlights, remember to go back through after they've uploaded and add them to whatever highlight you want to add them to. So that you can do it. It's just, you have to hit that little tiny plus sign. That is, like I said, if you have long nails, it's really, really hard. I actually have one of those ugly old styluses that I cut down into a little tiny tip. And sometimes when I'm trying to do that, that's the only time I use a stupid thing. You get those things free or at the dollar store. Get one, cut it down into a little tip. It really helps. Take my word for it. Tip of the day. So I have a question from Danielle, and no, that's not me. I don't often see my name pop up.
I hardly ever see mine. My name is not common.
My name is more common in like the 5 to 10 years younger than me. There's a lot of people like 10 years younger than me named Danielle. It was not popular when I was named Danielle, let me tell you. I never could get like little signs for my bike or anything, or pencils with my name on it. It didn't happen. So she is asking, sorry, it's a long one. She is asking, so I'm doing my stories daily, but it doesn't seem to be growing my account. However, I haven't posted on my feed in a while. Okay, so you have to do both. Now, you don't have to do your feed daily if that's not where your consistency is. I think part of your problem, Danielle, is you're not being consistent. You have to be super consistent no matter what that is.
It's also not going to happen overnight. So if you're consistent for 1 week and then you see that you're not getting any growth, so you cut it out for a little while, like you have to stick with it. So like something that I like have had to start reconciling in my brain is I just pretend I'm talking to myself and I'm using like I give like right now Instagram in my mind really hard is like microblogging. So if I'm microblogging or I'm micro journaling or whatever, and I'm basically kind of doing it for myself, then I can stay consistent with it. But if I'm doing it for the sake of making for like other reasons, it puts too much pressure on it. And then I can't stick with it because there's too much pressure. So find a way to stop putting pressure on yourself where you can stick with it, because you're just going to wake up one day and then all of a sudden you're going to have all of this engagement, probably a bunch of new followers and like some new DMs, and be like, where did all of you people come from? And most likely they have been following you for a while.
So there are many phases with Instagram. Instagram is consistency, quality of content, your quality of hashtags, and engagement. You have to also go out and engage. If you aren't engaging in your Instagram account, you're also not going to see anything. If you're not,
get specific. What do you mean by engaging? Do you mean by going into your respect, like the hashtags that you have used and then going in and engaging with other people using that hashtag? Or do you mean?
You have four main things that you need to do. You have to be consistent. You have to have great content, and great content means written content and graphical content. You have to have amazing hashtags, and you have to engage. So each of those has multiple steps that go with it. So I'm not going to go through the first three, but your engagement, there are three phases to engagement: watching other people's stories. You need to be watching through those stories that are in your little header in Instagram. They're only a few seconds long. Watch them. You have to go through and like and comment with people that are on your actual feed. More than like 3 to 5. And when you comment, they should be more than 5 words, not including emojis. Yes, exactly, Sandra.
Sandra.
That's awesome, Sandra. That's exactly what you need to do. And then you need to go to your hashtags if you're trying to grow your account and engage on those other people that are using those hashtags. It is so many steps and so many things that you have to do. Instagram is, and Gina and I say this all the time, social media is easy if you know how to do all the pieces, but it's time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about social media is difficult, but it is time consuming.
And that's where that's where the difficulty comes in, is people have a hard time committing the time to it, because it does take, it takes a lot.
It takes a lot of time, and it's consistency of that time that you spend. So as a solo business owner, that is something that I know is very, very difficult for a lot of people, to spend 15 minutes to a half hour every day dedicating to just engagement. That doesn't include your writing your content and your hashtags research and all of those pieces, all of those other 4 pieces that that I talked about. All of those take time. I actually polled a bunch of people last Thursday afternoon while I was writing content for our webinar, and asked, how long every day does it take you, or every week or every month does it take you to deal with your social media? And I asked them some very pointed questions. How long does it take you to decide what content you're going to write? How long does it take you to write your content? How long does it take you to find your hashtags? How long does it take you to find graphics? All of those pieces. on average, the average small business owner is spending a minimum of 10 hours a week doing that. That doesn't include the dealing with analytics and diving in and finding your ideal client piece, which you should have done first. Doing all of those pieces takes a lot of time. So that's where people like us, social media content strategists and social media managers, come in, because we have a system and we're extremely efficient about all of that. So really knowing how to post, what to post, the ideal type of strategy for your industry, all of those things, because we do that in so many industries. And I actually had to sit yesterday for our webinar and write out how many industries I write for or have written for. We ended up needing 2 pages or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to create 2 columns. Like, once Danielle, we've got the content in there, and now Danielle has to go through and we have to relook at it at least 3 times. Then I have to go back and format it. And you guys, trying to mush so much stuff on a slide.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. My Facebook is like, sorry, you guys are great. It's like, now, like, my
everything's beeping.
It's all the dinging and the beeping and the beeps and the flashes. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening?
Thank you, Latoya.
Thank you, Latoya. You guys are great.
And so it really is very difficult. I mean, knowing the ideal times to post, all of those things. And I will tell you that not every client has an ideal time to post, because I consistently post at 9:00 at night, just because that's when I finally get to it on my own feed. And I get great interaction. Some of those same people follow my DG marketing and my Be Boss Girl accounts, and those post in the morning, and they still follow those. There's really no ideal time, honestly, because as long as you're consistent with how you're posting, it's good. I have like 12 questions asking about the time thing.
Well, like, here's the thing with the time is, you'll notice, like, okay, so think about it. Your feed, like, because Instagram no longer does a chronological feed. So whatever time you post, it's going to pop up in one of in a feed somewhere at the most random time. So Danielle's posting at 9 p.m., but somebody's going to open their phone up at 12 p.m. today and scroll through their timeline and find Danielle's post. So time does not matter. If you're paying attention to how the feed is working, like, you could connect those dots.
Yeah. And it's all about, it comes back to that consistency piece. Consistency is the biggest deal.
Yeah. Like, so posting at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday is not going to make or not going to make or break you, like, based on,
no,
because that like, you're like, stop, you guys. I'm just going to encourage you to stop trying to think so linearly and trying to template exactly. There is no magic pill. There is no magic template to any of this. There's no secret. There's no code.
It's all of the pieces together. And if you are missing any of those pieces, that's why you're not doing well.
Yep.
And any one of those pieces not done well or done correctly or done consistently is what is causing you issues. So
think about it. So, like, if somebody, so let's think about this as the foundations of a house. So again, here I'm coming with my metaphors, but think about it. So let's say that my house is on crawl space. So what if somebody missed a freaking cinder block on, like, in a couple of spots on my foundation? My house is now unstable. So think of all these pieces that Danielle is constantly talking about as the building blocks and the bricks of the foundation of your home. And if you miss a brick or a cinder block or a whatever on your home, now your house is hosed. Same thing with your social media.
Your social media, and we talked about this yesterday, your social media is the cornerstone building blocks to your business. It's why social media is the cornerstone of your online business. If you miss a cornerstone when you're building your house is going to collapse eventually because the weight, a cornerstone is the most important of your building blocks. Your social media is very much of that. And unfortunately, in a cinder block in your house, so construction person's daughter and wife.
You speak to this, Danielle. I could tell you all you want to know about watering plants and irrigation and all of that, because that's what my husband does.
But building a house, that cornerstone is built out of lots of small granules in larger stones, and then the cement mix, which is ground up lime. All of those pieces, if any one of those, the mix isn't right, or they're not consistent between all of the stones, or they're too dry, too wet, whatever. If all of those pieces aren't together and working together to fuse it as a whole, it's going to crumble and fall apart. The same is true for how and what, your who, what, where, when, why, consistency, content, all of those pieces have to be together in order for everything to be strong and to build your business. And when you're as a solo business owner, we see this all the time. They write great content, or it looks bad, or it looks amazing, their content isn't great. It looks amazing, their content is great, but their hashtags suck. Or they're using hashtags that have been banned. That's even worse. Or they're doing all of that, but they're not engaging, or they're not doing stories, or there's so many pieces, and every single piece has to be strong, has to be in the right mix, and has to be together in a very cohesive way. And it has to be cohesive across all your platforms. It can't be Instagram, you do one thing, but it looks completely different and you sound completely different than you do on Facebook. And it can't look and sound in everything from your website. Everything has to be super cohesive. If it's not, you're also screwed and everything is going to eventually crumble. And we're starting to actually see that, not just like the follower accounts and Instagram culling followers and things like that, but for influencers, Instagram influencers, Facebook influencers. You're starting to see some of these that have built hundreds of thousands of followers and all of that over the last 3-4 years. You're starting to see many of them crumble because they aren't the whole entire package. They are missing pieces. They aren't doing all of the pieces together. And you're starting to see their businesses crumble. You're starting to see some of those high level, I have seen in the last 6 months-ish, I have seen 4 really high level, big ticket coaches lose their business. One went to jail. The other 3 have lost their businesses because
you're going to have to tell me about these people.
Different things. The one that went to jail was actually taking money from people and not delivering anything.
Oh, is that the one that we?
No, Dawn. But she is being investigated. She's one of the ones that's being investigated now for not delivering her products.
I'm just nosy. I just want to know who these folks are. Like, I'm just going to be honest. I'm just being nosy at this point.
Another coach was a business coach, except for she was giving people all of these business things to do, and they were following her blindly, and some of them were illegal. So she is in a lot of trouble. She's lost followers. She's lost her business. She's had to refund. By court order, she had to refund all of these people's money, which she didn't have, So, there's a lot of pay attention to what's going on out there, and pay attention to the cohesiveness, the consistency, all of that has to be there. And that's also where you go to look for hiring somebody too. That consistency across all of the platforms. That a big one really is a red flag is consistency across all of the platforms.
And do your own research also, even in what Danielle and I are teaching you guys, still go and do your own research, invest in courses, study it. YouTube University, I am a PhD in it. It's how I've learned how to do most anything, even in college. So really start educate yourself. Like educate yourself. Don't depend. Even though we do love that you guys listen and you ask us questions, so don't take this the wrong way. But what I'm saying is, don't depend solely on us to be your only resource. Get proactive. Go teach yourself. Always be a student. Always be learning. Pay it. Like Danielle is always. She's forwarding me articles and emails and trainings and things that she finds all the time. Like, never stop learning. And Danielle, and neither do I, don't take somebody else's word as Bible. We go and we research across the board. And if we find that if it's a theme, then we take it to be true. But if we're hearing one thing from one person and one thing from another person, and we're not seeing that answer consistently popping up somewhere, somehow, then we don't take it to be true.
Right. This is about educating yourself, and stop looking at free resources. I will tell you right now, I learned a long time ago, you get the resource overwhelmed when you're looking at free resources all the time. 99% of them suck. And even 90% of the paid resources also suck because they're just a huge sales pitch. Now, we are doing a webinar next week, and our webinar will be a sales pitch that I'm going to give some value, but I'm going to be upfront. It's a sales pitch. I'm trying to sell our services. It's what it's for.
That's what it's for. See, also was something, and like, this is something that we had to reconcile. Remember, Danielle and I come from the corporate world. In the corporate world, when you are going out and you're doing business development, you typically go to the potential client's office and you sit down, you have a meeting with them, and then you will have a slide deck with a presentation in it. A webinar is the same thing. So kind of keep that in mind.
So we're doing the webinar next Wednesday. We will start seeing ads, and I will let everybody know on all of our pages exactly.
Sandra, who's bothering you?
Leave me alone.
What happened?
She might be at work now. She might want to be left alone and go back to doing what she loves to do.
Oh.
Sandra is getting ready to leave her day job. So every day that she does go to work, it's going to be Wednesday.
We haven't set a time quite yet. We are building the registration pages out today. So we'll have it open for registration very, very soon, you guys.
And as soon as we do, I will let y'all know. But it is a sales pitch. I mean, I'm very open about that. I hate attending webinars and thinking I'm going to learn something. I mean, I don't do that anymore because I don't have time for that. But there are some amazing Instagram trainings out there. They're not cheap, but they are really good. One of my favorite that I ever did was actually Jenna Kutcher's.
Sandra. I'm laughing at her. Sandra says you're on her about the free stuff again.
I get on Sandra's case about the free stuff. Stop, unsubscribe, stop doing that. So yeah, it is the free stuff. Most of it is, you might have, if you have a lot of time to invest, they are a good resource, because you might get like 1% little good nuggets out of it.
You may get one nugget out of the free stuff, but if you're expecting to get the whole kit and caboodle,
you're not going to.
You're not going to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And unsubscribe to all those stupid emails that you get when you sign up for all this free stuff too. Oh my God.
Yes. Even though Russell Brunson, I'm sorry, you guys, I've magically become a super fan of his over the course of the last week, but that's because I'm obsessed with learning about funnels. So, but every training that I've taken of his so far, I paid for.
Yes.
And they've been very good.
The freebie stuff, I'm sorry, it's not going to always be the best. Yeah, you can so there is always, some webinars do some training. There are some out there that do have training. And Sandra, there's always something, you can learn something from everybody. I am at a point in business and in life that I don't have time to learn just one little nugget. If I'm going to learn something, I need to learn it all now.
Sandra, don't be sassy.
That's not where I am in my business journey. I don't have time. I only have so much time. I have to learn. And when I'm learning something, I'm learning to train clients, to offer clients a new service, to better offer the services that I already am offering, something like that. I don't have time to just get a little bit nugget from here and a little nugget from there. Russell's training is phenomenal, Latoya.
Yeah, Russell Brunson, I used to think I had strong opinions about ClickFunnels and the whole funnel hackers movement. Now
it's ugly. I will tell you.
That was always my problem, is ClickFunnels is ugly. Like, the platform itself is ugly, but the principles behind it, like it's good. And like, I'm suddenly getting like really, I know, Sandra, I set a really bad example for you guys as far as I really, like, I do. I set a bad example. Thank you for calling me out. I appreciate that. Now Danielle will be entertained by that the rest of the day. Thank you.
Yes, I will. So there is always good little bits to learn. And when you're first starting, sometimes it is good to do some of those free webinars, because you learn how people are selling themselves. You do learn a little bit about whatever it is you're going. Like I said, I will have some value in the webinar that we're doing next week, but that's not the main purpose of it. So you always give value when you do a webinar. And if you have the time, and if your mindset is correct going into it, that you're not going to learn exactly how to do all of the things for whatever this is, that's great.
Yeah. So I want to encourage you guys to be open to learning something every day. There is a nugget everywhere. They're everywhere. So just always be open to that. And that's something that I had to learn to. It took me a very long time to get into that mindset of there's a nugget everywhere. Latoya, when I feel like I am at the place where I can intelligently speak on funnels, we are happy to, more than happy to. But right now I'm currently in the learning phase and have not applied it enough to be able to talk about it, but I will when I can.
Okay, so my husband is texting me.
Okay, we need to wrap up.
We do need to wrap up. All have an amazing Tuesday. Thank you for joining us today.
This was fun this morning. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us this morning. We really appreciate it. We enjoy this immensely.
Very much. I look forward to more conversations like this. And today is Tuesday. So today, come give us your best business tips over in the Facebook group, Be Boss Girl Facebook group. I want to hear I want to hear some sassy business tips. Let's just not go with good business tips. I want to hear some of the sassiest business tips you've ever heard. And
am I allowed
to Gina for the last few weeks? Go. Don't leave us. Latoya's having a good time too. Doesn't want us to stop.
So, I'm sorry, darling. We gotta go to work.
Everybody has to go to work. I would rather stay and chat with you all day too.
Yeah, we would rather do this, but we gotta go work.
But I have to finish up my webinar and get all of my little goofy and sassy bits into the webinar. So I have to go finish that up today. If you have anything cool, anything funny, anything sassy to share with us about business and how you do things, please go share in the business.
Because there ain't nothing wrong with a little sass.
No, just ask Gina any day, all day. Have an amazing day together today. Remember to rise, become and be, and help each other out today. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
RBB Morning Show, the coach, mentor, marketing, and social media strategist you need each and every morning.